Yeah, so another thing I wanted to talk about was get into more of the withdrawal problems I've had in the past to kind of describe why I'm also so sensitive to it, why the like trauma behind the withdrawal. So I got really bad benzo rebound effects. I knew that. I had never wanted to be prescribed another benzo. I never wanted to go on another benzo when I was put on one through an IV because I was trying to rip out a breathing tube in ICU. So the reason why I never want to get on one, I was pressured to take anxiety meds at one point, so I did try like Xanax, and I just felt like slightly drowsy, and then I felt pretty normal. This is on it. And then I felt more anxious than before. And then at one point I was really trying to get a barbiturate, but the doctor was like, "Oh, I don't feel comfortable prescribing a phenobarbital or any barbiturate. I don't feel comfortable doing that." So it's like, "Okay, fine, I'll try a Valium, and if that doesn't work, then I want to be prescribed barbiturate." Because, well, I don't really say why, but I did really want to be prescribed a barbiturate, and you might know why, but I heard one of the things I heard was they're more effective for sleep. Okay, maybe that wasn't exactly the reason why, but that's what I said. I said I heard they're more effective for sleep. I also get really bad anxiety, and I heard they're very effective for anxiety too. But so I wasn't able to get on it, but then when I was at the hospital and they took me off of it, I felt terrible. I felt panicky. I felt like so bad. And part of that too was, I think, maybe coming off of the poisonous alcohol, which was pretty sedating, but rebound, like, it didn't feel good, but at the same time, it like coming off of it, like, yeah, I'm just really sensitive to coming off of things. I think I have like sensitive neuroadrenaline too, because medicines that affect neuroadrenaline affect me very much, and even supplements I've taken, which I could get into that, but I'm very sensitive to certain like one of the supplements I took had that in it, and when I took a norepinephrine affecting medication, I took Remeron, and my thoughts were so super dark, and I was like kind of like really antsy on edge. And I also like sometimes I get bad rebound effects too from coming off of norepinephrine lowering drugs, but I ended up in the psych facility I went to, they actually did not prescribe benzos. They only really tapered them, or they prescribed them to taper off of alcohol, but I ended up getting them as well. So I was able to get one of those there. I was like the only one prescribed it, Ativan, so the withdrawal symptoms ended. So even before, the psychiatrist was like, "So when you first came in, I thought like you were possibly manic, possibly psychotic, possibly like whatever, because you were really irritable. Now I'm not really seeing mania, but you have mood problems." And he's like, "Okay, so I want to get you prescribed a mood stabilizer, but if I can't treat your mood symptoms like directly, I'm gonna treat them indirectly." So he admittedly said he was gonna lie to the courts to try to get me to be ordered an antipsychotic. And the lawyer was like, "Oh, you're probably just gonna have to stay here. You're probably not even be forcibly prescribed that, because I can tell just by looking at you that you're, like, in talking to you, you're in touch with the reality. You're obviously not psychotic." But these courts were jokes, so of course they ended up having me prescribe that. But yeah, so the rebound effects were kind of quelled, and I also was taking clonidine. So I think, yeah, with the norepinephrine lowering, it also mitigated some of the rebound. But again, that would become a problem chasing it. That's what led to like the drinking a lot. But also with the drinking, at one of the treatment centers I went to, at that point, I was on 2 milligrams of Klonopin in the morning and at night and getting rebound effects. And it ended up just kind of being like one client there asked me, oh, let's go get alcohol sometime. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So it started off with that. So we got alcohol, we went back to the residence, we had a soft drink. We were drinking in the park first, and we were passing a soft drink back and forth, getting drunk. I was on like some benzos already with the alcohol. And I think part of why it felt so good, because alcohol does not feel that good to me now, was the relief from the rebound effects, and also just like the combo of the benzo and alcohol too. But yes, we were there getting drunk, and at another point I went in and I got offered this client a cigarette just to be friendly, to kind of be nice. I was new. This client was kind of quiet. And then he invited me to his place to drink. So we did that for like a few days, and I never wanted to be there because it wasn't how I was expecting it to be. My room was super hot. The sun was shining in on me at night. People were coming in at all times in my room to do checks. Only me, no one else. Like, so I thought, I'm being singled out. And also I was told I was going to get to make my own schedule there, but I did not get to make my own schedule. They came in at 8:30 in the morning, and like, this is when we meet, this guy named Darren. And I was like, my mom told me I was going to be able to make my own schedule. He's like, nope, this is when we meet. But I ended up not having him. But this is what point which kind of tipped my drinking more over the edge. Like, it ended up being like, I would like get so mad whenever I wasn't like buzzed, like tipsy or whatever, or drunk. And then the psychiatrist I never wanted to see, because I never saw him. The first time I saw the psychiatrist, he wasn't asking me questions. Like, at least at Avalon, which I'm not getting into right now, but the psychiatrist asked questions, but he just came in straight off the bat. Instead of being like, what's going on? Can I ask you something? He's like, oh, well, we have to get you on a mood stabilizer or a antidepressant. Which, like, first of all, like, the only diagnosis I ended up getting, which at the last place was, aside from psychotic, which she already admitted wasn't true, was mood problems. Like, what does that even mean? But I was like, well, you're not even gonna ask me questions, you're gonna do this. So I was like, I don't trust this guy, I'm not gonna see him. But he sees me after like drinking all day. Like, I was drinking from like 7 a.m. to like, it was the evening, going into the evening, like 3-4 o'clock. And I'd been drinking all day. Like, it was not good. But he just goes and sees me, and he's like, oh, well, at least you're calm now. And I was like, he's mocking me. He knows I'm drunk. He's mocking me, whatever. He's like talking. He's like, we need to talk. And he's like, go check your email. So I checked my email, and it's like, I heard you've been very irritable lately, possibly manic. We have to address this. I would like to address this with you. If not, you possibly have to go to a hospital. And I was thinking, that would be terrible. But I was like, kind of worried. And I was like, this is before I knew how he's like a massive idiot. But so that kind of was like, well, I should probably drink more, because like, at least I know I like the effects of like alcohol enough, and I don't want to be like forced on something that I don't like the effects of again. So I'm trying to like drink, and I'm gonna get more into that as well, because that ended up leading to some kind of low self-esteem as well, because the more I was getting into that as well, like it was happening quickly, I was having a difficult time interacting in the way I wanted to interact